Genghis Khan was a 12th century Mongol who built an empire from nothing. He conquered vast swaths of land in Asia and Eastern Europe, killing millions along the way. But his influence goes beyond war and bloodshed. His empire introduced postal systems, accounting rules, and legal reform to many parts of the world. So how did this brutal conqueror become so powerful? And why does he still matter today? Welcome to my channel. Today we'll explore what would happen if Genghis Khan invaded the United States. But first, let's take a look at how one of history's most notorious dictators came to power. Born in 1160, Genghis Khan grew up in what is now Mongolia. When he was born, the Mongols were divided into small warring tribes, and there was no concept of a unified Mongol nation. At the age of 9, Genghis was kidnapped by a rival tribe and held for ransom. When his father finally paid the ransom, he realized that his son had been brainwashed by his captors and was furious. It wasn't uncommon for children to be kidnapped and adopted by other tribes in these parts, and the practice helped foster a sense of distrust among the Mongols. This distrust would later unite them under Genghis's banner. In 1190, when Genghis was 30, a clan meeting was called to discuss the possibility of unifying the Mongols. After some initial reluctance, the leaders agreed and elected Genghis Khan as their leader. Khan means leader in Mongolian, and Genghis is actually a title rather than a personal name. His real name is believed to have been Temujin. Now united, the Mongols began to expand their territory westwards. Genghis defeated rival clans and brought them into his confederation. By 1206, the entire Mongolian nation was united under Genghis's rule. He officially proclaimed himself Emperor of all Mongols and changed his title to Genghis Khan, meaning Ocean of Bitterness or Righteous Conqueror. It was the beginning of the Mongol Empire. Over the next few years, Genghis reorganized the military, created new laws, and implemented a merit-based civil service. Under his leadership, the Mongols developed a unique fighting style based on cavalry charges and archery. Genghis trained his warriors to ride and fight from horseback while using bows and arrows. This allowed them to keep their distance from enemies and unleash volleys of arrows before charging into battle on horseback. The Mongols were also known for their use of psychological warfare, often intimidating their opponents before a battle and spreading rumors about their strength and brutality. As Genghis built his empire, he kept meticulous records of births, deaths, marriages, and other important events. He created the world's first official postal system, which used mounted riders to deliver messages across long distances. He also established accounting rules and promoted trade throughout his empire. Genghis commissioned the Yasa, a written set of laws that outlined punishments for crimes such as theft, murder, and rape. He also established courts to ensure that justice was served. In addition to his legal reforms, Genghis Khan was a patron of the arts and sciences. He invited scientists, mathematicians, and astronomers to his court and encouraged them to share their knowledge with others. But despite these accomplishments, Genghis is best known for his military campaigns. Between 1218 and 1227, he led the Mongols in wars against the Karakitai, Western Xia and Jin, Song and Kong states. He conquered vast territories and incorporated many different cultures into his empire. Along the way, he built a reputation as a ruthless and efficient killer. The Mongols employed terror as a weapon of war, often targeting civilians and using torture to extract information. Genghis is said to have ordered entire cities to be wiped out, including the city of Baghdad. An estimated 40 million people died during his conquests, which is around 11% of the population of the region he conquered. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, the Mongol Empire continued to expand under the rule of his successors. His grandson, Kublai Khan, conquered China and founded the Yuan dynasty. Another grandson, Beta Khan, led the Golden Horde to conquer parts of Eastern Europe. In fact, Genghis's empire was so large it became known as the largest contiguous land-based empire in history. It stretched from the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe and from Siberia to Iran. Although the Mongol Empire eventually collapsed, its influence can still be seen today. For example, the Silk Road, a network of trade routes that connected Asia and Europe, was established during the Mongol Empire. This allowed goods and ideas to be exchanged between cultures and helped promote economic growth in many parts of Asia. When Genghis Khan invaded and conquered new lands, he typically integrated the local population into his empire, allowing them to keep their wealth and property as long as they paid taxes and followed his laws. He also encouraged intermarriage between Mongols and non-Mongols, believing that it would help to unite his empire. However, there were also instances where he showed no mercy. After the siege of Baghdad in 1258, for example, he ordered the city to be pillaged and its inhabitants slaughtered. So why does Genghis Khan still matter today? Well, for one thing, he is a symbol of the power and brutality of the Mongol Empire. His conquests had a profound impact on the course of history, and his empire continues to fascinate historians and scholars today. Additionally, his military tactics and strategies are studied by military leaders around the world, and his accomplishments as a ruler and unifier of the Mongols are celebrated in Mongolia. Despite his reputation for cruelty, Genghis Khan is considered a national hero in Mongolia and is credited with uniting the Mongol tribes and creating a strong, prosperous state. His image is featured on the country's currency and postage stamps, and there are numerous statues and monuments dedicated to him throughout the country. Let's see what would happen if Genghis Khan and his army invaded the US in the year 2023. There's no doubt that Genghis Khan was a brilliant military strategist and commander. If he and his Mongol horde were somehow transported to the United States today, they would undoubtedly cause chaos and destruction. The Mongols were known for their horseback riding skills and archery abilities, and they would likely use these skills to their advantage in the United States. They could easily launch surprise attacks on unsuspecting citizens and then retreat quickly to safety before any sort of retaliation could occur. Additionally, the Mongols were highly adaptable and able to survive in a variety of environments. This would allow them to move freely throughout the United States and wage war on multiple fronts simultaneously. However, despite their military prowess, the Mongols would ultimately be defeated by the United States. The US military is one of the most powerful in the world and is equipped with advanced technology that the Mongols would not be able to match. Furthermore, the US has a large population and a strong economy that would make it difficult for the Mongols to sustain their war efforts. Eventually, the Mongols would be captured or killed, and their reign of terror would come to an end. That being said, it would be interesting to see how Genghis Khan and his Mongol horde would fare if they were dropped off somewhere in the middle of the United States with no warning. How long do you think they would last? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching.